As a lad from Manchester that's been living in Australia for quite some time, I can't help but notice there are some similarities. We love our sport, we love our cars, and we love to work quite hard. One thing I have noticed is you do love a nickname. For instance, a chippy is a carpenter, a brickie is a bricklayer, and a sparky is an electrician. But you already know that. Now, yes, I'm talking about tradies, and there's a good reason for that. It's because they are the lifeblood of our construction industry, those who help build the infrastructure that we take for granted, and those who help turn your house into your dream home. But it's not only large-scale jobs, though. Family businesses of all shapes and sizes help local economies and communities right around the world. Nationwide in August 2024, there are almost 2 million tradies, and the number of small businesses is only increasing. Last year alone saw the beginning of almost 500,000 new businesses. So let's explore the world of commercial vehicles, the vehicles that help our tradesmen and women every day. This is Business Drive. Hello, I'm Kris Smith and welcome to the second season of Business Drive. This season, we're not only looking at the next generation of working vehicles, but we'll also dive deeper into the heads of those who use the vehicles, those who call them their mobile office. Over the next 4 episodes, myself and a slew of special guests will cover everything you need to know when it comes to commercial tradies vehicles. We'll also jump into the cars of working traders and find out how their vehicles help them day to day, both during and after business hours. Enough of the hype, though. Let's bring in our first guest and get straight into it. James, thank you for joining us.
Right, great to be back.
Yeah, now have a look at this lineup. This is the new age of trade vehicles.
Yep.
However, before we look forward, I want to take you back in time and see exactly how we got here. Because 20 years ago, this would look very different, this lineup, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, mate. Like, we would see Holdens and Fords here for a start. You'd obviously see Toyotas here because we only had a smaller selection of vehicles that would operate for business buyers. Utes were working class utes. They were pretty basic. They were pretty rudimentary. Vans were basically empty boxes on wheels. They were the predominant cars that people would use. But now you can see we've got medium-sized SUVs. These are the second highest selling category for vehicle buyers for business owners this year. You've obviously got double cab utes, the larger utes for big and heavy towing, vans of course, but we've got regular internal combustion and fully electric options now.
And with that comes like a huge size and design issue because we've got all shapes and sizes, all different uses. What are we generally seeing?
Well, what you've got to think of is everybody's business is different. Some people need a heavy load, so a car like the Silverado for carrying or towing, that's going to work. Double cab utes, they are the predominant business buyer vehicle because they are very good at multi-role. They can go anywhere, they can kind of do anything. But vans, like the Renault Traffic here, you've got a lot of flexibility. You can fit that out. So if you need refrigeration or you need racking or you need carrying, you can build that to be a tool for your business as that car is designed. The Volkswagen, fully electric. Some people are looking at government incentives. They have perhaps an agenda where they need to operate in a zero or a low emission space, but even the running costs of that can help for good businesses. But even then, the Hyundai Tucson on the end, this is a medium-sized SUV and it's a hybrid. So you've got an efficient car to run for your business.
Now, you've touched on something there which us in the trade space never thought we'd see. That's the introduction of electrification and plug-in hybrid. We never thought we'd see that within the trade space, but we are.
We know that Jack, they've got a plug-in hybrid coming. Ford Ranger, Australia's top-selling vehicle, is coming as a plug-in hybrid very shortly. It opens up this world of flexible operating platforms to businesses of so many different types. So that level of technology moving in, it's exciting. It's really exciting times.
Now, of course, every tradesman, this is generally their mobile office. This is where they do all their work. So being in touch with the outside world is very, very important. What are we seeing in terms of connectivity in these vehicles now?
So we know Hyundai, for example, you can log into the car, you can lock it, you can unlock it, you can see where it is. We see that for a lot of things happening, but even the way that the cars are designed, you're seeing USB ports in the rear view mirror, near the dashboard. So if you've got an inventory management system or you need to have something mounted on the dash, the car is kind of pre-configured to work with that. And the vans particularly, you see some very clever interiors on those where you can fold down set of seats to be a workspace or a laptop area. And you think people do need to use them, as you say, as a mobile office. These do need to be flexible vehicles, and that sort of mindset is coming in at the development stage.
And of course, we're seeing tradies travel more and more, so fuel efficiency is right up there with the list of requirements that they're looking for in these vehicles.
That's absolutely right. So we know your standard diesel double cab, you've got a lot of flexibility around town. You can do big mile touring, you can carry, you don't need to worry too much. But we do know that a lot of people are working on their businesses in urban areas, and so hybrid or electrification or even plug-in hybrid to sit between the two. A lot of business buyers will say, well, I will pay that little bit extra to get the hybrid because then I can manage running that vehicle around town a lot more efficiently. And we know that that is a crucial part, especially in today's business landscape.
And we're seeing more and more options than we've ever seen before. So the landscape of manufacturers has really broadened.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that really excite you? And what should we be looking for?
So manufacturers are looking at that, well, what else can we do stage? So you're looking at really long warranties, capped service programs that support business buyers, roadside assist, all those sorts of things that help you, A, manage costs, but B, keep your car on the road. You're seeing tremendous value and technology coming in from some of these brands. So where a new brand comes in, do look at them. Look at what they can offer you in terms of value and, I guess, longevity of ownership in terms of warranty and whatnot. It gives you a great way to manage those costs and maybe get something a little bit kind of fun for your business.
Stay tuned, as there's still plenty to come after the break. And remember, if you want to find out more about anything on Business Drive, it's all over at drive.com.au. Thanks for watching Business Drive, and remember, to find out more about anything throughout this series, head over to drive.com.au. Now, James, we've spoken of the evolution of these vehicles, and there's no better place to start than the big boy.
Yeah, look, the big utes, and I think this is the biggest growth segment that we've seen in this kind of business buying space for the last couple of years, because people can see the size is one thing, but that towing capacity and that safe towing capacity is the big thing. 6.2 litre naturally aspirated V8. It will do some clever stuff. It does cylinder shutdown. It does all sorts of things to keep this efficient while you're on the road. And I think for people looking for heavy towing needs, which is a demand of a lot of businesses, these types of vehicles are kind of paramount. Between our first look at the Jack last year to now, Jack have got the T9 diesel that we've got here. They're about to release a plug-in hybrid variant. They showcased a fully electric variant at the Melbourne Motor Show. So you're seeing this company is looking at what else can we do with this working platform. This has a 7-year warranty, a 7-year cap price service program, and a 7-year roadside assist program that works for ABN buyers. Plus, if your vehicle is off the road for a major reason, if it needs warranty work or something, they will give you a replacement vehicle while that work is being done. And with the idea that this is your business. If your car's not working, you're not working. But the idea that you've got a new brand with new ideas about how to service business buyers on a traditional double cab platform, it's great to see.
Moving on now, we got the Renault Traffic.
With 1F.
1F.
This is it. Vans are no longer empty white boxes with a wheel at each corner that we saw for years. Cars like the Renault Traffic, you've got some pretty clever options in terms of fit out and factory options that you can buy from Renault when you order your van. But you can have this one as a short wheelbase, as a long wheelbase. Maybe they put an extra F in the name then. You can have it with the bulkhead behind the seats here. You can have it with extra seats. So if you're a working crew, if you need 4 people in that van plus working space, the modern approach to this kind of vehicle, you're seeing the brands say, we've got an adaptable platform to suit your adaptable business. The way that they are now, they're quiet, they're refined, they're comfortable, easy to live with. These make a working vehicle a very, very pleasant place to conduct your business. Who would have thought your business van could be this much fun? And so this is the Volkswagen ID Buzz. Now, this is the people mover variant. You can get an ID Buzz Cargo. So it's basically a white box van like the Traffic there, but fully electric, really kind of funky and cool, lots of crazy technology. But the idea that you now have a full electric platform in something that can work for your business. In the cargo version of this, if you've got a base of operations and you're doing deliveries around the city, the idea of having a fully electric delivery van, for want of a better word, to do your work in, opens up doors for businesses now. And I think that this is, and totally alone from the fact that this is cool, right? Like, it looks like a combi van. You've got that big smiley Volkswagen face on the front. It really is a funky thing.
It's incredibly cool, isn't it?
And this is, if you can go outside and you get into the van and you're smiling every day for work, are you even working, is the question.
I'm smiling talking to you about it. This is a favourite of mine. I've driven it and I love it.
The second most popular segment for business buyers are medium-sized SUVs, because you think if you're running around town, you're a sales rep, you're a consultant, you're doing bits and pieces, you need the flexibility of a vehicle that allows you to conduct many parts of your work. And a medium-sized SUV, it's a good price point, it's a good size point, you've got a tremendously flexible interior that we see for family buyers. This is Australia's most popular segment, but it works for business buyers too. And I think this is I guess the changing face of what we're seeing. You've got a hybrid, it's a closed loop hybrid system in the Hyundais. The cost of running these things are a lot less than they used to be. So if you are needing a regular car to do regular business, you just think because you're not picking up a hammer or you're carrying pipes, you don't work as a business owner. If you're buying under an ABN and you've got a business sticker on the side, you need a working car. And a car like a medium-sized SUV, like our Tucson here, it's a perfect choice for a lot of people.
Tradies often need more than just the ute. You know, there's a trailer, there's your toolboxes, EV chargers, and a whole myriad of, equipment that people need. It's often quite smart to consider all of your finance in one go. There's a few advantages. Primarily, you'll be able to save on fees and roll up your repayments so you understand exactly what you're going through each month. With interest rates as high as they've been over the last year, it's a question to many tradies whether it's a smart move to finance them or pay cash. The answer quite often is yes, it is a smart move to pay finance, and we'll unpack that shortly. Reserving cash flow in your business is absolutely a smart move. Cash is king within business. Being able to finance your asset is one of the smartest moves you can do to preserve and be prepared for those quieter months and actually still get a tax write-off. In a high-rate environment, it's always wise to consider if you can get a variable rate loan, particularly if there's chattel mortgages available. This is going to allow you to ride the wave down as these interest rates drop and be able to afford the repayments and not be stuck to a long-term commitment. You've got to watch out for red flags with a lot of these 0% finance deals that you do see advertised. They look amazing on paper, and some of them very much are, but often there's a very long fine print that's attached to them, where it might be on limited vehicles, your trade-in might not be acceptable, there's traditionally a 36-month term and a deposit. So although they look fantastic on paper, make sure you see the whole deal before making any decisions there. If I had one piece of advice for tradies thinking about buying a ute this quarter, is think long-term value. Don't just be wowed by the flashy deals. Consider your exit fees, the term of your loan, and make sure you get a fair trade on your car. It's a good time to buy, there's plenty of stock around, but just be smart with how you do it.
We'll be back after the break, but if you're searching for your next vehicle, check out Drive's Cars for Sale page for your best deal. That's over at drive.com.au. You're watching Business Drive, and remember, if you're looking for your next vehicle, head on over to drive.com.au to find your next best deal. The Chevrolet Silverado is, in one word, big. It's the Clydesdale of working vehicles. This American pickup has really impressed the experts at Drive. In fact, it impressed them that much, it won Drive's Car of the Year 2025, the dual cab ute, under $150,000. But besides its size, what makes this vehicle so unique? Let's join James and find out. Here we go, James. Now, this is the mathematician, James, isn't it?
This is it.
The Chevy Silverado has got some ridiculous numbers.
Yeah, this may come as a bit of a surprise to you, but I'm actually pretty good at maths. And I think one of the things that we spoke about with these, the larger utes, if you need to tow safely, it's not about towing more, although they can tow more. You've got 4.5 tonne tow rating here compared to a 3.5 tonne on a standard ute. It's about towing safely. So if you're at home, get out the calculator or the spreadsheet. I'll run you through just an example here. So if you've got a Hilux, Toyota Hilux, we all know what that is, but it's got a 3.5 tonne tow rating. A Hilux and its trailer combined has a gross combination mass, GCM, of about 5850 kilos. Now, if you've got a 3 tonne trailer on the back of that and you're putting 2 people in that car, so there's 200 kilos, they're big guys, it's us, 200 kilos there, that 3 tonne trailer is going to push 300 kilos down onto the back of the Hilux, so that comes out of the payload. You've got 60 kilos with fuel. Add all of that up, out of that 5850 gross combination mass, you've only got 200 kilos spare. And so if you've put a rack on the top, you put a bull bar on it, you put stuff in the tub, you put 2 more people on there, the trailer's a little bit heavier, you're done. You're over your combination mass that is overloaded and unsafe. You take the same trailer, people, fuel, and weights with a car like the Silverado, which has got a 7160 kilogram gross combination mass, so 1,300 kilos more. Add all of that up, you've got over 1,100 kilos spare. So that means you can go to a 3.2, 3.5, 4-ton trailer and still be safe and still be within that tolerance level. So the idea is not so much towing more, it's towing safely. And I think if you're in the market for something to work as a tow platform, you're doing big miles, something like the Silverado, it really does work.
For the people at home scratching their heads, as am I, for that explanation, can you simplify things? Do you need a big ute to tow big things?
Actually, no. So Ford have just released the Ranger Super Duty, which has got a higher gross combination mass than this. It's got an 8-ton combination mass. It can tow up to 4.5 ton, but it's a standard footprint Ranger. So if you're used to a regular sized double cab, if you're able to work in that for a multi-role vehicle, and you need to tow something heavy safely, Ranger Super Duty is about to hit the market.
Now, James, we've been watching Landman, and I thoroughly believe everybody needs one of these, but that's not the case. Who is Chevy targeting with this Silverado?
Yeah.
I want one. Let's be honest, I want one.
I got to say, right, we want the hat, we want the big Texan thing. We're going to start an oil company, I reckon. We were talking about it before. But look, the idea of the big format utes, and again, what we're seeing, GMSV, who bring these in, so this is Australia's operation of General Motors, they bring them in left-hand drive, they re-engineer them here in Australia to right-hand drive, so they are developed for our market. But as I always say, look at the map, look at how big Australia is. If you are needing to be doing 700, 1,000 kilometres a day. And we know there's a lot of people out there who need that, and you need that flexibility and safety for towing and the comfort. Like, let's just face it, if you are doing a lot of big mile touring, needing that load capacity, it's like a lounge room. Like, it's so easy, it's so comfortable. They're not really for city streets, we know that, but Australia is a big place and it is a big car, so they're looking for people in outer regional areas and out into rural areas. You can get the Z71, this is the kind of the flashy one, but you can get a ZR2, which lifts it up a little bit, puts all-terrain tyres on it, so if you do need some off-road work, you can get a Silverado that can support that as well. And this was a Drive Car of the Year category winner. This was our best double cab ute under $150,000 in the Silverado. So it's something that all the judges at Drive really recommend. And it's a lot of fun, right? Like, I can't deny it. They're a lot of fun to drive. You do need to have a go and really experience them. If you want that big vehicle for big touring, hit up a Silverado.
Stay tuned, as there's still plenty to come after the break. And remember, if you want to find out more about anything on Business Drive, it's all over at drive.com.au. Thanks for watching Business Drive, and remember, to find out more about anything throughout this series, head over to drive.com.au. As the end of the financial year approaches, you've got sole traders, contractors and businesses of all shapes and sizes taking a look at their fleet and wondering how they can take it to the next level. And joining me today is Lee Mason, who's Head of Marketplace at Drive, to give us the state of play for the dealers and for the working vehicle. Lee, thank you for joining us, mate.
Thanks, Chris. Great to be here.
It is the end of financial year now. What does that mean? Is this where we see sales absolutely skyrocket?
Look, it's always a busy time of year, end of financial year. So there's a lot of businesses, fleet owners and contractors, as you mentioned, looking to take advantage in that run home to June 30. What we do see is automakers and dealerships particularly looking at driving promotions, so looking at discounts, looking at finance offers to clear stock, and obviously it's a major time in the market.
Now, how does that compare, end of financial year against the sales at Christmas? How's the comparison? Are they similar or?
Yeah, look, they're both really busy times of the year. What we saw in June of 2024 was one of the largest months in the year. It was 120 sales, 120,000 new car sales in that particular month. So it was a massive boom. But we've seen it a little bit through the March quarter in 2025. It's been a little bit softer, although the March period was probably our biggest month to date. It's close to 108,000 cars sold in March. So we're hoping for a big June 30 as well.
Now, let's take it back to the basics a little bit. What are the best sellers out there?
Look, traditionally what we're seeing over the last couple of years, the Ford Ranger's been the #1 seller, not only in the ute segment, but also in the overall segments as well. It's been the major seller. Hilux has been a major seller as well in number 2. And in that ute segment, we're seeing the Isuzu D-Max faring particularly well in the 3rd position, followed by the Mitsubishi Triton, and to round out the top 5, it's the Mazda BT50.
Now that's a quite impressive top 5. What are the competitors like surrounding that?
Look, the competitors are coming thick and fast. We've seen in the early parts of 2025 some new entrants to the market. The BYD Shark 6 has made a major impact in March alone. It moved up to the number 3 position as the most sold ute in Australia, coming really, really quickly. So it's a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, which is meeting buyer demand.
I feel like we've got more selection now in terms of car brands than we've ever had before. Does that mean customers are now branching out to try something new, or are they staying loyal to the brands that they've always been with?
Look, it's a great question, Chris. What we're seeing, like the last couple of years, as I mentioned, the Ranger and Hilux have been the 2 major sellers in both 2023 and 2024. So they've held really strong loyalty with their customer bases. But what we are seeing now is preferences changing. We're seeing a really strong boom in that plug-in hybrid space, which electrification is really topical at the moment. So it's really changing buyer preferences and driving consumer demand. And as I just mentioned, the BYD 6, the Shark 6, has really hit the market strongly. The Ranger's now looking to introduce a plug-in hybrid version that's coming in 2025 as well. We've also the much publicised Kia Tasman that's due to arrive mid-year as well. So the competition in the ute segment is only getting more and more competitive.
Lee, thanks again for your time, mate. Insightful as always, and I'll be seeing you again next week.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks for watching this episode of Business Drive. Next week, James and I will take a closer look at the Renault Traffic. I'll join a chippy and a furniture maker to see how their vehicle helped their business. And remember, if you want to find out more about anything you've seen in today's episode, it's all over at drive.com.au. I'm Kris Smith, and we'll see you next time on Business Drive.
Looking for the perfect car? Welcome to an all-new way to shop for your next car. Visit Drive News and find thousands of brand new demonstrator and high-quality used cars available from Drive's nationwide dealer network and ready to drive away today. So for new and quality used cars, discover Newsed, only at drive.com.au.